to see you're really only very small, and life goes on within you and without you. We were talking about the love that's gone so cold, and the people who gain the world and lose their soul. They don't know. Can't see. Are you one of them? When you've seen beyond yourself, then you may find peace of mind is waiting there. And the time will come when you see we're all one, and life flows on within you and without you.
I was raised up believing I was somehow unique, like a snowflake, distinct among snowflakes, unique in each way you can see. And now after some thinking, I'd say I'd rather be a functioning cog in some great machinery, serving something beyond me. But I don't know what that will be. I'll get back to you someday, soon you will see. What's my name? What's my station? Oh, just tell me what I should do. I don't need to be kind to the armies of night that would do such injustice to you, or bow down and be grateful and say, sure, take all that you see. To the men who move only in dimly lit halls and determine my future for me. And I don't know who to believe. I'll get back to you someday, soon you will see. If I know only one thing, it's that everything that I see of the world outside is so inconceivable. Often I barely can speak. Yeah, I'm tongue-tied and dizzy, and I can't keep it to myself. What good is it to sing helplessness blues? Why should I wait for anyone else? And I know you will keep me on the shelf. and you would wait tables and soon run the store. Gold hair in the sunlight, my light in the dawn. If I had an orchard, I'd work till I'm sore. If I had an orchard, I'd work till I'm sore. Someday I'll be like the man on the screen.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. We're so glad you're here. If you are new to our community, or if you'd just like to learn about new ways to connect, please reach out to me. My name is tlewis, and I serve as the Director of Membership and Engagement. You can reach me directly at tlewis@unitytemple.org, or you can go to our website and fill out a visitor form, and I'll be in touch with you next week. Our website is www.unitytemple.org. I hope you enjoyed the service and look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Ed McDevitt, President of the Board of Trustees at Unity Temple. It is my pleasure to welcome you this morning. If you are with us in our virtual services for the first time and would like to know more about us, please contact our Director of Membership and Engagement, Tina Lewis, at tlewis@unitytemple.org. We are most pleased to welcome our interim minister, Reverend Don Cooley, to Unity Temple. Reverend Don is already hard at work interviewing leaders of the congregation, working with our staff, and getting to know the Oak Park community. The board would like to remind you to look for news of the ongoing work of the Community Transformation Team on developing plans for a safe return to our buildings. Please make the much improved unitytemple.org website a go-to place for updates. Take note in particular of the slider of boxes at the bottom of the home page. Our congregation's core values are connection, transformation, justice, and acceptance. Our mission is to embody these core values by welcoming all, inspiring compassion, nurturing wonder, and serving community. We encourage everyone who joins us in our services to reflect on this ongoing endeavor. Please enjoy the service and join us at our virtual coffee hour afterwards. The link to the coffee hour is in your e-beacon for this week or in Saturday's email. You can also request the link by emailing tlewis@unitytemple.org.
Good morning, Unity Temple Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm the Reverend Don Cooley, your new interim senior minister. I'll be back a little bit later in this service, but before we dive into worship this morning, I wanted to let you know some good news. We hope to begin streaming Sunday morning worship services live online here from the sanctuary starting on August 29th at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's just a few weeks away. The hope is that it won't be long after that before we can begin actually allowing small but growing numbers of you in the sanctuary during the service, at which point we will truly be offering multi-platform worship on Sunday mornings. And I know we want to see each other live and in person on Sunday mornings. But in order to begin live streaming from the sanctuary and move towards a full return, we need your help. We need volunteers to help make Sunday mornings happen. One of the urgent areas of need for Sunday morning volunteers is with Jim Parks and Dan Crimmins on our audio-visual team. It isn't a complicated job and something that they can teach just about anybody who's over the age of 13. Jim and Dan would like to start the training as soon as possible so that we're all set by the time August 29th rolls around. And that's right around the corner. One of the lessons of this pandemic has been the urgent need to provide accessible worship services online, and that's not something that's going to change. With your help, Unity Temple will be able to continue to provide meaningful, moving, consoling, and challenging worship services both online and in person. Contact Jim Parks at jparks, that's JPARKS, at unitytemple.org for more information. I look forward to working with you, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday morning.
We invite you to light your chalice along with us.
We are Unitarian Universalists.
This is the Church of the Open Minds, the Loving Hearts, and the Helping Hands.
We take care of the planet Earth and each other.
Wild geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. Mary Oliver. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this worship service. My name is Pauline Nyjander, and I wanted to thank you all for inviting me to join your worship services today. I am a seminarian at the Drew University Theological School in Madison, New Jersey, an aspirant for ordination as a UU, and a member and volunteer staff member of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Princeton. As a woman, a lesbian, and trans woman from New Jersey, I am grateful to be welcomed here, and I hope that whoever you are, wherever you are on your life's journey, know that you are welcome here.
Love is the doctrine of this congregation.
The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer.
To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine.
Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Please join me in singing hymn number 131 in the Gray Hymnal, Love Will Guide Us.
If you cannot Wow. This is really lovely. This is Unity Temple in Oak Park, Illinois, right? It looks like it. And it's wonderful, but it sure would be more wonderful if you were here with me. I can just picture you here. Hi, everyone. I'm the Reverend Dawn Cooley, and I'm your new interim senior minister. I'll be with you for the next 2 years in between one settled minister and another one. Weren't those opening words that Pauline read just fantastic? That poem by Mary Oliver? I think that reminds me of something that I've got here in my suitcase. Ugh, it was a little bit heavy. All right, let me open this up and see. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is a printout of the Wild Geese poem by Mary Oliver. And it's got geese up at the top of it. And I had a printout just like this in my office when I was an intern minister in Ames, Iowa, 15-ish years ago. And then when I was the minister at First Unitarian Church in Louisville, Kentucky, I printed it out and I had this poem in my office there as well. I think I will hang this in my office here at the 1019 building where the staff offices are. That's pretty nice. I am learning my way around Oak Park and around the different buildings here at Unity Temple. And oh, here we go. Here's one of my trusty walking shoes. And I confess they have a little bit of holes in them. I've been walking so much and learning my way around and getting to know my new community. This is a pretty fun town. And I love this Chicago area. I've ridden the L a couple of times. It's a lot of fun. Oh, speaking of fun, here is one of my roller skates. I love to roller skate. It is one of my favorite things to do. And I'm really looking forward to roller skating along the waterfront. That's going to be pretty fun. Now, you may see me roller skating around town, but what you won't see is me roller skating in this liturgical robe, because that would be silly. This is going to be a lot of fun. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, yeah. Here's something else to go in my office at the 1019 building. These are dolphins, and this was made for me by one of my kids many years ago. My kids aren't little anymore. They're 20 and almost 18, and they're both living in Louisville with my husband, John, for the next year. They are also taking care of our 4 cats and a dog. We didn't all move up this year, but the plan is for them to come up next year, depending on which one of them want to come up and who's in college. We don't know yet. That's so far off. The year seems so far away, doesn't it? And yet we know it'll be here in just a little bit. I will put this in my office to remind me of my family. But don't worry, I won't miss them too much because we're going to be visiting each other a lot. What else do I have in here? Oh, yes, that's right. So one of the things that interim ministers and congregations work on together is helping the congregation to come to terms with its history. And Unity Temple has a lot of history. And a lot of that history is really great. But this tissue box reminds me that some of the history is hard and some of the history might make us cry. And so we can work through that together. And I'll work through that with you. And I'll always have tissues in my office. Coming to terms with your history is one of the tasks that an interim minister works with a congregation on. In fact, there are 5 tasks. The second one is to help a congregation to picture themselves, to get a good picture of themselves. And so one of the things I carry with me is this mirror. And this mirror is a way that you can look into it as a congregation and tell me what you see. It might be blurry at first, or it might not be completely clear, or you might have a hard time finding the words for it, but that's okay because we can work through it and imagine together who this congregation wants to be. Oh, Here's something. Here's a face mask. This symbolizes change and transition. There's not much that can symbolize change as well as a face mask these days, right? These last 18 months have been really, really hard for individuals, for families, for workplaces, and definitely for churches. It's been hard. You have had to learn all new ways of doing things and being together and being a community. One of the things we'll work on together during these 2 years that I'm your interim is we will be looking at more change and more transition. I'm sorry, but it's going to be good. And we're going to allow new leadership to emerge. Don't worry, we'll get through it and we'll get through it together. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, goodness. Not good when your earbuds fall out. Let's see. Oh, right. So one of the things that we're going to work on too is I'm going to try and help connect you to the Unitarian Universalist Association and to the larger community of Unitarian Universalist associations. There are a whole bunch of them out there. This is the fanny pack that I used to wear to General Assembly. And General Assembly is when a whole bunch of Unitarian Universalists get together in one place. And we do workshops and we take stands on issues and we talk to each other and we govern and we decide things and we have a lot of fun. I hope we can get together at General Assembly in person soon. It was also online the past 2 years. Oh, speaking of General Assembly, this is the program book from General Assembly in 2013 when it was in Louisville, Kentucky. I was the minister of the downtown congregation in Louisville at that time, and it was really fantastic. I loved that General Assembly came to my town at that time. I look forward to going to General Assembly sometime with some of you. It'll be a lot of fun. But it's not just about General Assembly. One of the things that I'm hoping that we are able to do together is come in closer connection with your regional staff. Unity Temple is part of the Mid-America region, and the congregational life staff on the Mid-America region are fantastic. And I should know, because I worked for congregational life staff in the Southern region for a couple of years after leaving First Unitarian Church in Louisville. And I got to know the Mid-America regional staff really well, and they're great. So we're going to be working with them, and they're going to be helping us through this interim period as well. All right. Oh, and here's a mosaic that I made. I'm not much of an artist, but I love making mosaics because they are representing how a lot of disparate pieces, some that are jagged and some that are smooth, can come together and create something really beautiful. And I love this one because it's got smooth edges, rough edges, and it's got all sorts of different colors in it. And I love this piece. And I think what this symbolizes for me is the mosaic of the future that we're going to work together to build for Unity Temple. It will have some colorful pieces and it'll have some shadowy and shady pieces. And it doesn't matter because it'll be beautiful and it'll be wonderful. And we're going to build it together. And then the last thing in here is, let's see, where is it? My stole. And this symbolizes the fact that you and I will be in a ministerial relationship together. I am your minister. That means I'm going to be doing all of the regular minister things. I'm going to be leading worship, and I'm going to be doing pastoral care, and I'm going to be representing the congregation at times in the community. This stole was given to me by First Unitarian Church in Louisville, Kentucky, and they loved their building and had a love-hate relationship with it. Maybe you can relate. On this stole, they put a picture of their steeple on one side, and they put a picture of, let's see if I can get it, a picture of their stained glass. But we know that a congregation is more than its building, right? All right. It is a joy and a pleasure to be your interim senior minister for the next 2 years. I really think we're going to do good work together, and I really look forward to it. I think that's enough unpacking right now. I'll see you around.
My name is Alice O'Cray, one of your pastoral associates. Each week, we create a space for holding each other in our hearts and for the prayers of the people. If you are celebrating something significant, our community would love to share with you in your joy. If you are suffering a loss or going through a major transition or challenge and would like the congregation to be aware, please let one of the ministers or one of the pastoral associates know during the week, and it will be shared in the service. Otherwise, feel free to put it here into the live chat. Please hold Jules Eckersley in our hearts, as she has recently been diagnosed with COVID-19. She is resting well at home. Please hold Val Igasharshi in our hearts. This week was the 1-year anniversary of the passing of her mother. May we keep families impacted by forest fires and floods in our thoughts as they continue to deal with the challenges related to this devastation. Please send healing energy to victims of violence as well as the perpetrators. Again, know that we would love to hear from you. Just contact one of our ministers or one of your pastoral associates. We can be reached at pastoralassociates@unitytemple.org. We are always available to you.
We are grateful to be here together on this Sunday in this shared space. A virtual space, but a shared space nonetheless. We hold in our hearts those who do not yet get to benefit in the ideals put forth by our first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We hold these individuals in our hearts and lift up their struggles so that we may see the work that needs to be done. And may we be called to do that work, the work toward bringing about a world where all are treated with dignity and worth that we would see others treating us with. And here, in the shared silence of this space, we lift up our own prayers and intentions. And may this light represent all of the joys that we have experienced. May these moments buoy us in times of darkness. May we be blessed with continued goodness in our lives. May this light represent all of the negative and sorrowful things that have happened. May those events not dominate our lives and thoughts. May we as a community hold those experiencing these difficult times in loving embrace so that they may not lose the hope in their lives. And lastly, may this light represent all of the milestones that we have encountered, births, deaths, and anniversaries, and anything else which we mark as important in our lives. May we as a community continue to be there for each other with these milestones as best as we can, both in sorrow and in joy. And may these lights reach out and illuminate every joy and ease every sorrow, this day and always. Amen. There is a story that was shared with me a few years ago by a member of the UU congregation of Princeton that I wanted to share with you today. I am forever grateful that the individual that shared this story with me has given me permission to share it. And the story goes like this. When the Maker had created the universe and the earth, she was happy to see her work done. Now that she was free of the frenzy that had overtaken her, she got into a playful mood. So she said to herself, "Many of the beings I have created will accept me for what I am and for what I have done. But there is one being to whom I have given extra intelligence. Those humans. Sooner or later, they are bound to question their creation and seek me out. Let me hide and see how long it takes them to find me. I might as well have some fun. Now let's see, where shall I hide? It has to be something with a fundamental challenge, and yet has to go beyond the intelligence that I have given them." First, she thought of hiding on the highest mountain, but the humans will develop clothing. They will get used to the harsh climates. They might even adapt to the low oxygen, and then they will find me. That would be too simple and not very much fun. Then she thought of hiding in the deepest ocean. But these humans will develop machines, and with their help, will be able to dive to great depths, and then they will find me. That would not be much fun either. So she gave up on that idea too. Then the thought of hiding on the moon occurred to her, but she rejected that too, because one day the humans will develop rockets and the associated paraphernalia and get to the moon too. It would be just a matter of time. She was now beginning to feel frustrated. Where can I hide? The Maker thought. I want to give the humans a fundamental challenge, but I also want them to enjoy the game of finding me. She thought and she thought and she thought, and finally, as she was about to give up, she thought of a solution, and a big smile spread on her face. She laughed to herself, saying, "Finally, I have thought of a place. It is simple, yet hard to get to. It is near and yet quite far. It is obvious and yet mysterious. Yes, that's it." Then the Maker, with a twinkle in her eye, said, "Here's what I will do. I will hide myself in the heart of each and every being." This story is a good introduction to what is the invariably complex topic of Hinduism, and explains in an easy way the idea that a piece of the holy or the divine, or whatever word you can think of, resides within ourselves. Now, before we proceed a little bit further, I think a little bit of background information on Hinduism is necessary for us to be able to delve into this topic. Unlike the Abrahamic faith traditions that many of us are familiar with, Hinduism does not recognize God as being the one in charge of it all, who is separate from the world. Instead, Hinduism believes that a piece of the holy resides within each of us, and it is our responsibility to determine how it is that we are to let that holiness within us shine outward. We can do this by doing good deeds. Then, at the end of our lives, we would be cosmically called to account for our actions and justify everything that we have done in our lives. Depending on the job evaluation we get, one would be reincarnated into another life at a higher or lower karmic level. Roughly speaking, if one didn't do enough good, then they would be reincarnated into a lower station in life, possibly spending a few lifetimes as a cow. If one did a lot of good, then they would be reincarnated into a higher station in life. And eventually, when one did enough good over the course of many lifetimes, they would join with the divine. Now, a very interesting notion that is present within Hinduism is that right versus wrong is not a strict dichotomy like most of us are taught growing up. The example that was used in my learning more about Hinduism was how the Abrahamic faith traditions are telling us that lying is unequivocally bad. However, Let's say that we are walking in a marketplace doing our shopping. We notice an individual running past us with a panicked look on their face. They hide near where you are standing, and you see exactly where they hide. A few moments later, you see a pair of large, burly men holding swords, demanding from you if you saw where the individual they were chasing is now. What do you answer to these two men? Do you tell them where you saw the individual hide a moment ago? Or do you lie to them and say you saw the individual running in the other direction? In this instance, lying may be the correct answer. Or maybe it isn't. Did we do good in this situation if we lied? Why or why not? At the end of it all, one would need to account for what their answer was in this particular situation and many others like it that we encountered in our lives. It is up to us to become attuned to listening to that spark of holiness. To put it in terms that we are probably more accustomed to, listening to a conscience of sorts. What does our conscience tell us to do in different situations? You know that feeling you get when you do something wrong? You know the one. You get that feeling deep in the pit of your stomach, and it feels like your stomach just somehow magically dropped to the floor. That right there is that piece of the holy telling us that we are not doing good. I think that, and I completely count myself in this group of people, we don't always do the thing that causes the most good. We may attempt to explain it away or come up with excuses to justify our actions or inactions. And when we feel that feeling in the pit of our stomach, we should probably listen to it. On the opposite side, when we do something good, and especially when we do it willingly and with a smile, our moods get better and we feel better about ourselves. About 3 winters ago, I trekked into the local Home Depot to pick up de-icer from my driveway and sidewalk. I was not incredibly thrilled at having to go. It was out of my way. I had a long list of other things I needed to get done. I was grumpy. I was tired. And as I was putting my shopping cart back into the cart carousel, I noticed a woman who was probably in her 60s or 70s, struggling to figure out how she was going to transfer 3 50-pound bags of rock salt into her car. After asking if she needed some assistance, she reluctantly said yes, and I placed them into her car for her. I made sure she was able to get someone to help take the salt out of her car when she got back home, cracked a few of my terribly punny jokes, and then I went back to my own car. That's when it hit me, that exhilaration and joy of having done a good deed. My feelings of being miserable went away as I channeled that spark of the holy from within, and it was that spark telling me that I was doing good. Science may call it a neurological response of some sort, but why can't it be both? It is also important for us to take care of this vessel that is a home for this spark of the holy. Not taking care of ourselves could, if we look at it from a certain point of view, amount to blasphemy. Now, I don't say that we need to eat avocado toast, drink kale smoothies, and do 6 hours of yoga a day. If that were the case, you'd have to call me a blasphemer from now on, because that type of self-care regimen would not happen under any circumstances. But in recognizing and remembering that a piece of the holy resides within us, it means that we are holy beings worthy of taking the time to take care of ourselves. This means taking care of ourselves physically as best as we can before we fall ill. In those instances when we do fall ill, it means making time in our hectic lives to do what is necessary to take care of ourselves so that we can get better. This means taking care of ourselves mentally and emotionally by giving ourselves opportunities to work through those things that we have on our minds, or allow ourselves time to grieve. Taking care of ourselves and the holy within means learning to balance the things that we have going on and providing ourselves time to rest. For myself, It means actually taking some time off from both work and school in between my semesters at seminary to rest and recharge my proverbial batteries. In recharging my batteries, I reconnect with the holy within and without, which allows me to be more receptive to those calls to do good and to know when I am not doing good. Lastly, if we recognize that the holy resides within each of us, then it is our responsibility to also recognize and remember that the holy resides within those around us. And yes, I do mean with everyone around us, not just those that agree with us politically or socially. So yes, this includes that brash family member, coworker, or neighbor that supports the politicians and the political party that stand for things that you might not believe in or agree with. On occasion, I like to don my imaginary hazmat suit and dive feet first into the depths of the comments section on hot button issues. The issues being expressed could be the ones that I am either for or against. And after taking a step back from getting myself worked up emotionally and feeling my blood pressure spike considerably, I noticed that no matter how different each of us are in our views and our stances, it is amazing how similar we get in the insults and degrading comments we hurl at each other. I find myself wondering if we've tamped down that voice of the holy within when it comes to dealing with people that we do not agree with, because our interactions can definitely not fall on the scale of good. However, what I'm not saying is that we as a people have to let injustices stand. On the contrary, fighting against injustice and fighting for the better treatment of those at the margins of society is something that falls under the good umbrella, because during the evaluation of our lives, we can certainly explain and justify the work that we do on that front. But it's more than just the fight. It's how we go about doing it. If we fail to recognize the holy residing within everyone, especially in the individuals that we don't agree with, it can taint the work that we do, and it takes away the opportunity for the good to shine through in the other. In 1991, Rabbi Michael Weiser and his family were living in Lincoln, Nebraska, where he was the spiritual leader of the South Street Temple. Shortly after moving into their home, the phone rang, and the man on the other end of the line called Rabbi Weiser a racial epithet. A few days later, a package of anti-Black and anti-Semitic pamphlets arrived in the mail along with a card that read, "The KKK is watching you, scum." Rabbi Weiser learned that these messages were coming from Larry Trapp, the Grand Dragon of the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan in Nebraska. Larry Trapp's whole goal was to scare Rabbi Weiser into leaving Lincoln and had worked toward creating a state of fear for those that did not meet his definition of what the ideal human beings were. But Rabbi Weiser must have seen a spark of the holy within Larry Trapp, because he found Trapp's number and began to call him, leaving him messages like, "Larry, there's a lot of love out there. You're not getting any of it. Don't you want some?" Or, "Larry, why do you love the Nazis so much? They'd have killed you first because you're disabled." One day, Larry finally answered, and following his wife's advice, Rabbi Weiser said, "I heard you're disabled. I thought you might need a ride to the grocery." After this went on for a while, Rabbi Weiser's phone rang, and it was Larry calling him a second time. Larry had called to say, "I want to get out of what I'm doing, and I don't know how." Rabbi Weiser and his wife traveled to meet Larry Trapp, and a close friendship between the three formed. Larry Trapp would eventually move into the Weisers' home as his health got worse, and would eventually renounce the KKK and converted to Judaism prior to his death in 1992. Rabbi Weiser and his family could have reacted in a negative fashion. They could have cursed Larry Trapp's names and actions and called him a hateful bigot. Because Rabbi Weiser happened to see a spark of the holy within Larry Trapp, He had treated him with kindness and allowed Larry Trapp to see the errors of his ways and to see the spark of the divine within. Larry Trapp's previous actions as a member of the KKK are certainly not excused, but his redemption was a place to start doing good again. Moving forward, I would challenge us to open ourselves up to recognizing the holy within by continuing to do the good deeds that we do in our lives. While not always convenient, these good deeds allow us to express the holy within while at the same time making us feel good. Help a stranger that may be struggling to lift something heavy. Volunteer at a local organization. Speak out and act against the injustices present within our society at large. I challenge us to honor and respect the holy within by taking care of yourself in some way. Read a book, go for a walk, work at eating healthier. Do yoga or some other form of exercise on a regular basis. And lastly, I challenge us to be mindful of the holy within those who we do not get along with or agree with, even at times when they don't recognize the holy within us. While we do our good deeds in our life and fight injustice in society, it does not mean that we should stoop to the level of those that oppose the work that we do. My respect to the holy in you. Namaste.
Each week, Unity Temple gives our Sunday offering to an organization that aligns with our Unitarian Universalist values and is committed to bringing compassion, equity, and justice to this world. I am so pleased that our offering goes to new moms. My name is Stephanie Kiesling. I currently serve on the board of directors at New Moms and was on the board of Parenthesis Family Center prior to our merging with New Moms in 2016. New Moms partners with young moms who are experiencing poverty as they set and accomplish their goals and harness their strength to build strong families. Through our housing program, young moms find safety and stability as they plan for their future. Our job training program includes jobs at our social enterprise, Bright Endeavors, where our participants craft beautiful soy candles which are sold across the nation. Our family support program includes home visiting, parent coaching, and education, along with doula, prenatal, and postnatal support. New Moms has locations in both Chicago and Oak Park and serves families in the city and the near west suburbs. You may donate online at the website noted on your screen by sending a check to Unity Temple with New Moms in the memo line, or by using the camera on your phone to scan the QR code on the screen. Thank you so much for your support. May what you bring give you joy.
Please join me in singing hymn number 1008 in the Teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes.
share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith. Then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place.
May love and compassion guide you in all that you do. May wisdom help you to seek responsible truths and meanings. May inspiration lead you to new places, and may the hope you bring be a beacon for others. May you share your beautiful gifts with the world. Go in peace, and amen.
I used to think that this was my town. What a stupid thing to think. I hear you fighting off a breakdown. I myself am on the brink. I used to want to be a real man. I don't know what that even means. I just want you in my arms again, and now we'd search each other's dreams. I know you're tired and you ain't sleeping well, uninspired and life is mad as hell. But wherever you are, I hope the high road leads you home again. I've heard enough of the white man's blues. I sung enough about myself. So if you're looking for some bad news, you can find it somewhere else. Last year was a hell of a glitch for nearly everyone we know. I ain't fighting with you down in a ditch. I'll meet you up here on the road. I know you're tired and you ain't sleeping well,